I have a brand new video just about to launch on Vo-Gus prospecting, and in the meantime, I was doom scrolling on Facebook, something I consider a hobby of mine. Whilst I was doom scrolling, I came across a post from Crux Prospecting. Now, Crux Prospecting is a new high banker manufacturer who's doing some very innovative stuff, and he captivated me straight away. Like, I haven't got any of their products, they haven't contacted me, I don't know them, none of that stuff. But they captivated me straight away because of the way that they present their social media posts. You can tell that the person who's behind this new company is a thinker. Because the post that I saw was just a very simple post about, oh, I thought I would compare two hoses, one made from this and one made from that, and we're going to show you the weight difference. And just to create a social media post like that, it might not seem like it, but it's an incredibly difficult thing to conceptualize in the first place. Right, we're going to try and give you an example of this. Alright, what's the difference? This one's green, this one's black. This one has inset riffles, this has riffles set on the actual wall of the pan itself. This one is ever so slightly bigger than this one. And it's also ever so slightly taller. And therefore, perhaps you would think that this is a superior pan. But if you're like Crux Prospecting, you're going to know there's a little bit more to it than just that stuff. This fits in a backpack a lot easier than this. This is also significantly lighter than this. The angle of the wall here puts less strain on your wrist when you're panning down compared to the angle of these walls. If you're like me and you're colorblind, this is green, means that it's very hard to see fine gold on that. Whereas this is black, and I have no issue with seeing that. From an ergonomic standpoint, this is the pan I prefer to use. None of those things are overtly obvious when you look at those pans. And the thing is, Crux Prospecting has started putting out multiple posts that touch on those sort of subjects. They touch on that ideology, the way of thinking about those subjects. And that's so important. I would hazard a guess that if I get my hands on one of those units, it will be a very well thought out device. All of that being said, it leads me to what I really wanted to talk about, which is that if you don't teach yourself how to think, you will keep following the same patterns that you do every single day. You literally have to learn how to think. It's a very difficult thing to do. It's why you get a lot of people on social media who will put up a post and it's just regurgitating information they've heard from someone else. At the head of that information train, there'll be someone who's intellectualized that thought process. They've thought about whatever the subject matter is and they've put together a well-formed opinion. And then most of what happens after that is just reactionary. It's just emotionally based regurgitation of that same information with a bias on top of it. Learning to think is a lifelong pursuit. It's something that I try to practice every single day, and it can be incredibly hard because you do get into those automated processes where you're not consciously aware that what you're thinking isn't actually your own idea. The way I do it is I stop and I pause and I listen to the emotions that I got going inside. So I've found myself that I'm more of an emotive thinker. I won't have a conscious thought up here so much as I have a feeling in here. And if I stop and focus on that feeling and what it actually means to me, and then I can pull apart, if it means these things to me, what does that actually have in terms of a consequence or a positive effect on that subject matter? And then I can start thinking about it from that point, essentially formulating my own opinion about a subject. And more often than not, for 95% of all things that I end up doing that with, I discover that I don't know enough to form a well thought out opinion. But I promise you, if you're able to do that, if you're able to pull apart your belief systems around whatever subject matter is put in front of you, you're going to be able to make better, more informed choices about what you want to do in that situation, whether that's a big life choice or something as simple as, having an opinion on a social media post. And if you're like me, it saves you a lot of money buying equipment that you don't need. Although I do kind of feel like I'm going to end up buying one of those high bankers. At any rate, the video's up.